Hey everyone, so as you might be able to tell, I'm in a new location and this is my college dorm room. I'm living in an apartment, actually an apartment style dorm with 3 other girls, and this is my bedroom. And today I just wanted to film my back to school makeup. This is what I am wearing on the first day. This is the first day of classes. I didn't have class until 1 today, so I'm filming this before that. I hope you don't mind. I'm kind of breaking out down here. It's kind of gross. I'm trying to get under control. If you have any good suggestions for acne treatments, let me know. Hopefully the lighting's okay. I've just got a window right here, and it looks to be okay, but I'm not sure. So we'll have to see later. But okay, I've already primed my face, and I put on some eye cream to help get rid of my dark circles, and we're just going to get started here. So I'm going to start with Marc's Minereal Foundation. I just have my whole makeup basket here, so sorry if I struggle with finding things. But I'm just going to use Marc's Minereal Foundation. It looks like this. And it's a cream to powder foundation, and it has mineral pigments in it. And what I do is I just take a little dab on my finger, and I'm going to put it on my face. And yes, my hands are clean. And then I'm taking my Sigma Flat Top Synthetic Kabuki F80 brush. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to use this to kind of stipple and blend in this foundation. Alright, so as you can see, it gives a good coverage, but it's really not as heavy as a lot of foundations are. And so that's why I really like it, because it gives you a good coverage, but it's not going to look really unnatural. Also, I am in the shade Nude, which is the second lightest shade in the Marc line. Now, next thing, I always go through and I do my concealer. I put my concealer over my foundation. I don't know, it's just what seems to work pretty well for me. Got a few dabs, and this is Marc's Conceal for Real Hook Up Concealer. And it is in the shade Fair Light, which is, I think, the lightest shade. And I guess it's good to go a shade lighter underneath your eyes to kind of help brighten everything up. And I'm using my Marc blending brush to just blend this in. I've seen this done on a lot of YouTube videos recently, and they say it gives you more of like an airbrushed effect, and not so much of like a direct concealer, like, you know, the concealer line. And I've really been liking it, so I've been doing this lately and just kind of swirling it in, making sure all the edges are blended out into my foundation, so there's not so much of a definite like, oh, concealer line. Okay. After that, I put more of this. I just kind of put it on my finger, and I'm gonna dot it for acne, and then I'll use a different finger so I don't have to touch the brush, which touch the acne. Maybe that's just me being silly, but it makes sense to me. And then I'll just kind of dab it in. It works pretty well to conceal acne, or basically anything really. But hopefully you can still kind of see something, but it's not as nearly as red or gross looking as it was before. It's still kind of gross looking though. You can definitely see like the bumps and things. And then I take this brush. It is the e.l.f. blush brush, but it's just a good size to put some powder on underneath my eyes and then over my acne. Because with this Minereal, it dries pretty well. It dries in a pretty powdery consistency. So while later I probably will need some powder to touch up with, I don't really need any right now to like diminish any oiliness. But I just kind of pat this on underneath my eyes, and I'll take a little bit more and pat it on down here. Maybe around my nose a little bit. That is a little oily today. And I will have to, I do bike to class, so by the time I get to class, I'm sure my whole face will be gross and oily. Okay, and then after that, I usually spray a little bit of Missed Opportunity. This is just a little bottle. I always refill it and leave it in my bag, just to kind of help that powder settle, so it doesn't look so powdery and cakey. And then I take NARS Please Hold Eye Primer. It's in light to medium. That's upside down. And I know you guys, if you've watched any of my other videos, you've seen this. Okay. Just kind of dab this on my eyelids. And I usually kind of blend it up. And sometimes I'll put a little dot down here just to kind of brighten it up. Now I'm going to do my blush, and I'm going to use a little dab of the NYX Cream Blush in Rose Petal. And I'm using my MAC foundation brush for that. I just stick my brush in there a couple times, and I just kind of smile and down on the apples of my cheeks, and I just kind of blend that out. And this just gives a good natural glow, which I think is good. We're doing more of a little bit, it's not dramatic, but it's a little bit darker of a look on my eyes than like just a neutral or brown. And then I'm also going to use MARC's Good Glowing Blush, and it's in Cameo Glow. It's the one right here, if you can see it. And this is in one of the old palettes. They have new ones now. They're really pretty too. I'll show you that one in a minute. And then I'm using the MARC Blush and Bronzer brush, which is my favorite. It's like a flat top brush. I just tap that into the blush, smile again, and just kind of dab it onto the apple of the cheeks. Blend that out. And since this blush is kind of bronzy, I usually put a little bit down my nose, you know, like a little bit blended onto my forehead. Because it's not too pink, it's more of a natural bronzy glow. Okay, and then we're going to move on, and I'm going to put a little bit of a base onto my eyeshadow. And this is MARC Keep It Going in Exposure. And I know I've showed this before too. I use a lot of the same products. But it kind of acts as the same, it does the same kind of thing as a paint pot. And so I'm just going to dab this a little bit onto my eyelid. It just helps the shadows stick really well. And with a combination of the primer to prime it for this, and then this, my eyeshadows really don't budge, and they don't crease or anything throughout the day. Basically any eyeshadow I use doesn't move at all. Okay, now we're going to get on to the eye look, which I'm excited for. And we are going to use the new MARC iMark Metallics. The palettes are interchangeable, and you can put whatever colors you want in them. But oh, there goes the brush. I will be using these three, not this peachy colored one. But I'll be using those three for the look today. I know they look a little bright and intimidating for like school during the day, but they're not that bad. So I'm just gonna dip it's my MARC eyeshadow brush, and dip it into the silvery one, so you can see. And the silvery one is called Moonshine. I'm gonna put it in there, and this will be just our inner corner, and you're gonna kind of blend it onto the lid just a little bit, and blend it down below just a little bit. I'm gonna put a very little bit of this one, which is Sugar Sugar. Use it as a highlight. It's a bit more of a natural color. It's still pretty silvery and shiny, but it's still got that pink, like natural skin tone color to it. And now I'm going to use one of my MARC eyeshadow brushes. It's the all over eyeshadow brush. Oh, it's kind of rubbed off. It's the all over eyeshadow brush, and it's just a big flat, I guess most people would call it like a shader brush. I'm going to dip this into the purple, which is called Jazzy. And this is a very, very vibrant purple, but it's still very wearable for during the day. Like, I'm not going to put it on too darkly or anything like that. And just kind of blend that all over the lid. Okay, and next I'm going to keep using the Oliver eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to put it on the tip of it, kind of, like that. And then I'm going to put it underneath my eye. That I think really helps the look. And then I'm going to take my Sigma, it's my E30 pencil brush. I'm going to dip this into this dark color down here, which is called Lava. It's basically a black, but it's not too dark of a black. It can be very, very dark, but it's also very blendable. It's got some shimmer in it, so I'm just going to lightly dip that in there, put it in my outer corner. And we'll kind of blend that in onto the lid and into the crease, just to kind of give the purple more dimension, because once you blend it in with the purple, it almost becomes to look like it's just a darker purple. I don't know if you guys can tell, but and then I blend that in just a little bit down below as well. But since I'm wearing this to class, I don't want to get this black too dark. Now I know for most of you, you're going to be like, I'm not wearing purple eyeshadow to the class, which, fine. You don't have to, but, sometimes you gotta have a little bit of fun. And I'm sure there's plenty of other neutral eyeshadow looks out there if you're interested. And I'm sure I'll do one soon anyways. So, and the next I'm just going to take my Sigma E25 blending brush, which I got. It's a little free travel gift thing. And I'm just going to blend these in.